Hi guys, welcome back. Today we are going to learn how to multiply and divide fractions. We've got 4 success criteria, and the first one is to learn how to multiply fractions. So when we want to multiply fractions together, the easiest way to do it is multiply the tops and multiply the bottoms together. So if we want to do a half times 2/3, we do 1 times 2 and 2 times 3. So that gives us 2/6. Now we need to simplify our answer, so we can divide the top and the bottom by 2. So our answer is 1/3. If we want to work out 4/5 times 3/4, we can do 4 times 3 and 5 times 4. So we get 12/20, and we can simplify that to 3/5. Here's a question for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. So for this question, we multiply the tops together and we multiply the bottoms together. So we do 3 times 4 and 4 times 9, which is 12/36. And we can simplify that by dividing the top and the bottom by 12. So our final answer is 1/3. This time we want to multiply a fraction by a whole number. So 2 as a fraction would be 2/1. So we can say we've got 2 lots of 2/7. So altogether we've got 4/7. Or we can think about it as a fraction. So like we said before, 2 is 2/1 as a fraction. So we do 2/7 times 2/1. So 2 times 2 is 4, and 7 times 1 is 7. So our answer is 4/7. Here's a question for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. So for this question, we want to do 2/9 times 3. So 3 as a fraction would be 3/1. So we do 2 times 3, which is 6, and 9 times 1, which is 9. And we can simplify that by dividing the top and the bottom by 3. So our final answer is 2/3. Here are some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers, so you can mark those. This time, we want to work out fractions with big numbers. So here, it helps to simplify first before multiplying. We can simplify the 3 and the 27 by dividing both numbers by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 27 divided by 3 is 9. We can also simplify the 10 and the 15 by dividing both numbers by 5. So 10 divided by 5 is 2, and 15 divided by 5 is 3. And then we can just times across. So 1 times 2 and 3 times 9 is 2/27. So our answer is 2/27. Here's a question for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. So in this question, I can simplify the 2 and the 8 by dividing both numbers by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. And I can also simplify the 5 and the 15. I can divide 5 by 5, which is 1, and 15 divided by 5 is 3. And then I can just times straight across. 1 times 1 and 3 times 4, which is 1/12. Here's another question for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. In this question, the only thing that I can simplify is the 4 and the 8. So I can divide the 4 and the 8 by 4, and then just multiply across. So 1 times 3 and 7 times 2, which is 3/14. We can also do this using a calculator. So if we want to do 8/5 times 3/4 on a calculator, we type in 8, then the fraction button, and then 5, then multiply, 3, and then the fraction button, and then 4. And if we press equals, we should get the answer 6/5. Your calculator will always give you the answer in its simplest form. To make it into a mixed number, you can press Shift and then the SD button, and this will give you the answer as a mixed number, so 1 and 1/5. Here's some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So there's the green answers, there's the amber answers, and there's the red answers. The greens made giraffe, the ambers made zebra, and the reds made tiger. And now we've completed success criteria 1. So now we're going to move on to number 2, and this is to divide fractions. So if we want to divide fractions, what we can do is we flip the second fraction and we change the divide to a multiply. So 3/4 stays the same, 6/7 becomes 7/6, and we change the divide to a times. And then we just multiply the two fractions together. So we do 3 times 7, which is 21, and 4 times 6, which is 24. All we need to do at the end is just make sure we simplify our answer. So we can divide 21 and 24 by 3, so our final answer is 7/8. This is sometimes known as KFC, keep, flip, change. In this question, we keep the first fraction the same. We flip the second fraction, so 2/3 becomes 3/2, and we change the divide to a times. And then we just times the fractions together. So 5 times 3 is 15, and 6 times 2 is 12. And we can simplify that to 1 and 1/4. Here are some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers, so you can mark those. For this question, we need to divide 10 over 12 by 15 over 21. So we use keep, flip, change, keep the first fraction the same, and flip the second fraction, and change the divide to a times. Now before we times, we can simplify the fractions by simplifying. I can simplify this one diagonally. So 21 divided by 3 is 7, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. And I can simplify the other diagonal as well. So 10 divided by 5 is 2, and 15 divided by 5 is 3. And then I can just times across. So 2 times 7 is 14, and 4 times 3 is 12. And this simplifies to 7/6, or 1 1/6. Here's a question for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. So for this question, it's divide, so we use keep, flip, change. So keep the first fraction, flip the second fraction, and change the divide to a times. Then I can simplify the 9 and the 3 by dividing both numbers by 3, and then multiply across. So 2 times 3 is 6, and 1 times 5 is 5. And we can write that as a mixed number, which is 1 1/5. Here's some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So there's the green answers, there's the amber answers, and there's your red answers. And now we've completed success criteria 2. So now we're going to move on to success criteria 3, which is to multiply and divide mixed numbers. So to multiply and divide mixed numbers, we need to convert them into improper fractions first, and then convert them back at the end. So 1 2/5 would be 7/5, and 2 1/3 would be 7/3. And because we're multiplying these together, I can just multiply across. So 7 times 7 is 49, and 5 times 3 is 15. And then convert it back into a mixed number. So my final answer is 3 4/15. Here's a question for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. So again, for this one, we need to convert them into improper fractions first. So 2 1/3 would be 7/3, and 1 4/5 would be 9/5. And then we can just times them together, or we can simplify first. So we can simplify the 9 and the 3 by dividing both numbers by 3, and then multiply across. So 7 times 3 is 21, and 1 times 5 is 5. And now we can convert that back into a mixed number. So our final answer is 4 1/5. In this question, we're being asked to divide. So we're still going to change them into improper fractions. So 2 2/9 becomes 20 over 9, and 1 1/2 becomes 3 over 2. Now when we divide fractions, we use keep, flip, change. So we keep the first fraction the same, we flip the second fraction, and we change the divide to a times. 20 times 2 is 40, and 9 times 3 is 27. So our final answer as a mixed number is 1 13 over 27. Here's a question for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. So for this question, if we convert them into improper fractions first, so 1 1/5 is 6/5, and 1 2/3 is 5/3. We need to use keep flip change, so we keep 6/5 the same, we flip 5/3 to 3/5, and we change the divide to a times. Then 6 times 3 is 18, and 5 times 5 is 25. And I can't simplify that any further, and I can't change it to a mixed number, so our answer is 18/25. We can also do this using a calculator. So we can type in 1 and then press shift, then the fraction button, and then 2, and then go down, and 5, and then go across, so we're out of the fraction, and press times, and then press 2, and then shift, and then the fraction button again, and press 1 on top, and then go down, and type in 3, and then press equals. And we should get the answer 49/15. To get it into a mixed number, we can press shift and then the ST button, and this changes it to 3 4/15. Here's some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So there's the green answers. There's the amber answers. There's the red answers. And there's the purple answers. So the greens made crab. The ambers made octopus. The reds made dolphin. And the purples made shell. And now we've completed success criteria 3. So now we're going to move on to number 4, and this is to apply to problem solving questions. In this question, we're told Carol spends 3 1/6 hours doing her maths homework. She spends 2/3 of this time learning her times tables. So how many hours did she spend on her times tables? So this question is asking us to do 3 1/6 times 2/3. So we change 3 1/6 into an improper fraction and times that by 2/3. We can simplify 2 and 6 by dividing both numbers by 2. And then multiply across, so we get 19/9. So that's 2 1/9 hours. Here's 2 questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. Okay, let's mark these. So for the green question, we need to do 3 2/3 divided by 3. So we change 3 2/3 to an improper fraction, so that's 11/3. And we divide that by 3, which is 3/1. So we use keep flip change. So we get 11/3 times 1/3. 11 times 1 is 11, and 3 times 3 is 9. So as a mixed number, that's 1 and 2/9. For the red question, we need to do 3/7 times 2/5, which is 6/35. And then we need to divide that by 4. So if we use keep, flip, change, we're going to do 6/35 times 1/4, which is 6/140. And that's our final answer. We don't need to simplify our answer there because the question doesn't say give your answer in its simplest form. And now we've completed success criteria 4. So now that we've completed the last objective, it's time to end the video. Hope you enjoyed it and hope you found it useful. Make sure to like and subscribe and be sure to check out the other videos on the rest of the channel. I'll see you next time. See ya.